So that our time is not interrupted, please take a moment to silence your devices and put them on airplane mode. I'd appreciate if each and every one of you did so. I'm going to do that too, so take your time right now. This morning, our first musical guest for the day is going to be King Q, here with an original piece called Born Famous. Where is he? There. Thank you very much for sharing with us.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's very loud. Yeah. Mic check. Yeah. I said, tell the crowd to bag back, but I'm full of scene now. Headed out from Baghdad, I blow shit out the frame now. Came from the bottom, but I'm rising to the top. And when I climb up this mountain, I put champagne in the rain cloud. Let's celebrate the fact I can talk about success, and we ain't even cashing checks. My people know my next. Let's celebrate the fact that I can talk about success. I'm Michael Jackson, Billie Jean, flow at every step. I guess my heart beat, cause I'm messed up in the head. But they don't understand, I think they're overhead. And now I work to build up my confidence. When time is money, tell them I can burn out some counterfeit. Fake it till you make it, I can say it ain't obvious. We bring it till we heal, that's why the city been proud of us. I pray the amount of us, but never know what it feels like. There's something in the dream, but others live it in real life. I'm talking dollars till I blow up my windpipe. Party up in heaven, where is your invite? Drive shit to heaven, trust me, just sit tight. They drive shit to heaven, trust me, just sit tight.
Lifeline right before our face. Lose a lifeline right before we make it. You ain't gotta choose a time of day. Living legend, wake me up when I'm famous. Lifeline right before our face. Lose a lifeline right before we make it. You ain't gotta choose a time of day. Living legend, wake me up when I'm famous.
It's the same people that need you and really don't want to see you go. Or the same people that keep you away from the light so you don't grow. Man, it's hard seeing success stories from somebody you know. But it's worth watching them work so hard on the damn world they gon' blow. Every step that I take is literally coming from the soul. All this ice is just a reminder that this world gets so cold. Fake friends, I got them going like adios. Mama knows, really from a different fabric, dog, I had to cut it close. Man, I rock a new name, dog, don't tell me you ain't noticed. Try to push me to the edge, but they notice I was dirty.
Open up a new chapter, dog, I should've kept it closed. I can visualize success even when I'm blindfolded. Wait, it's hard not to channel it. I want to appeal, but I doubt that they can handle it. Tell me what is real. Why can't they just answer it? Now tell me what is real. Why can't they just answer it at all? Right before my face, wait. Lose a lifeline right before we make it. You ain't gotta choose the time of day. But living legend, wake me up when I'm famous. Lifeline right before my face. Lose the lifeline right before we make it. You ain't gotta choose the time of day. A living legend, wake me up when I'm famous. Thank y'all, everybody. How y'all doing tonight?
Thank you, King Q, for that lovely performance of Chasing Your Dreams and Perseverance. Each week, we read the Ethical Education for Youth core values as a way to bring us together and remind us of our shared commitments. During the school year, we have one of our young people come up and read them. However, the program is on hiatus, so instead, I will be reading them for you today. Every person is important and unique. Every person deserves to be treated fairly and kindly. I can learn from everyone. I am part of this earth, I cherish it and all the life upon it. I can learn from this world around us by using my senses, mind, and feelings. I'm a member of the world community, which depends on the cooperation of all people for peace and justice. I can learn from the past to build for the future. I am free to question. I am free to choose what we believe. I accept responsibility for my choices and actions, and I strive to live my values. It is now time for opening words, when a member shares a little bit about themselves or about something that they are passionate about. This time, we deepen our connections with one another. Today, we invite Dan Overman to speak with us for opening words.
Wow, looks like I made it to the big screen finally. Good morning. Today I would like to share two things. One is a remembrance of one of our members, Jan Mulholland, who died March 29th, and the other are some observations related to collecting and connecting relationship dots between Jan, ourselves, and the other folks who were recognized at Remembrance Sunday. So I knew Jan really only casually and enough to exchange greetings and well wishes, so I Googled her obituary. Hers was a life well lived, and it just seemed appropriate to recognize her and share a few thoughts. I'm not going to recite her entire obituary, but I have extracted portions that provide a snapshot of the content of her character and why it's worthwhile for us to share. She was born Janet Collin in July of 1945 in Denver, Colorado. Her parents died when she was very young, and she was raised by loving adoptive parents, Gladys and Pop Pankey. Interestingly, they were not actually blood relatives, but just neighbors of Jan's. So that's pretty remarkable. She graduated first in her class from Denver North High School and was awarded Colorado's top academic scholarship, which sent her to Colorado College and the University of Denver, where she graduated Phi Beta Kappa. After earning her undergraduate degree in education, she and her new husband, Mike Mulholland, moved to St. Louis, where she enrolled at University of Missouri at St. Louis and earned her master's degree in education. Shortly thereafter, she began teaching elementary education and dedicated her career as a school counselor, serving both elementary school children and their parents. In 1999, she was awarded Teacher of the Year in the Hazelwood School District. In retirement, she spent considerable time teaching adults to read. Additionally, both Jan and Mike were generous volunteers and supporters of the St. Louis Zoo, the Animal Protection Association, the ASPCA, the Humane Society, the Sierra Club, and of course, the Ethical Society, being members for over 20 years. She believes strongly in social justice, particularly for women and people of color. She was a strong advocate for animal rights and environmental protection. She spent her career and life advancing these causes. She was passionate about living life with abandon and laughing with gusto. She is survived by her husband, Mike, of 58 years. She had 2 children and 5 grandchildren. If we view her life through the lens of the core values, here's what we would see. She dedicated herself to helping youth and their parents navigate their way through formative and emotionally turbulent years. She advocated for social justice for people, animals, and the environment. She was really well aligned with the core values. The content of her character provides us with a behavioral model for how to live more effectively while doing our part to make the world a better place. Though she no longer has a physical presence in our world, we need only to allow ourselves to emulate her best qualities, and her legacy and memory will continue to live on through our actions. This is also applicable to all who were recognized on Remembrance Sunday. So perhaps, if you were wondering, Dan, why have a remembrance presentation today? After all, wasn't Remembrance Sunday, May 26th? Yes, it was. It so was. However, Remembrance Sunday encountered an unexpected hiccup. The program went much longer than expected, and in fact, it was already 10 minutes after 12, and the final presenter, which happened to be me, had not even started. Coincidentally, I was the platform host that day, so I made an executive decision to omit the presentation. Later, it occurred to me that perhaps the presentation could be rescheduled as opening words, so here we are. I've been an advocate of Remembrance Sunday for a number of years, and until just this year, it didn't occur to me to ask why. Taken literally, the very title suggests that it's primarily about expressions of human loss and its associated emotional impact. That sure does not pack a great deal of appeal. However, I discovered that for me, Remembrance Sunday evokes three other emotions. One, of course, involves loss. Surprisingly, the other two are inspiration and appreciation. So let's talk about loss for just a moment. Because the people we have remembered and recognized are physically no longer in our world, it's no doubt a less better place. So whether we knew them personally or not, there is most definitely loss. Inspiration, Jan and the others that we've remembered left us their behavioral roadmap. Emulating the content of their character and their best qualities will result in a better world as well as more effective way for us to live. I find that particularly inspirational. And finally, appreciation. So, how lucky are we? We arise each day with yet another opportunity to make our world a better place, to pursue joy for both ourselves and for others. Obviously, our friends, relatives, and acquaintances who have died no longer have this opportunity. But we sure do. And shouldn't we be making the most of it? Let's take a page from Jan's life book. Let's be passionate about living with abandon while applying the core values and laughing frequently and with gusto. To Jan Mulholland and all those recognized on Remembrance Sunday, I extend a heartfelt thank you.
If you are a member and would like to share opening words, we will happily get you on the schedule. You can connect with Amy Miller or send an email to the platform speakers team. The team takes turns recruiting each month, and so you may have been asked to give opening words. You are always free to decline. However, I urge you to accept, as you will not regret it, and it will allow your community to get to know you better. We do have a special announcement today. So please welcome our welcome team chair, Stephanie Segala. There you go.
This is going to be a special day today because we are going to have a tornado drill. All of you know that we live in Tornado Alley, so tornadoes are no surprise to you, but it's been a long time since we've had a tornado drill here, and we know from the news that there are more and more tornadoes. I believe there have been more tornadoes this year already than in any year, certainly in Missouri. So we want to all be safe here, and you can help us out so that not only you know what to do in case we have a real tornado, and the welcome team, who's ultimately responsible for helping you not go to Oz, they need to have a drill as well. So I want to not take up too much of your time, but this is what you can expect. At the end of platform today, you'll see me again, and I won't have a siren, but I will say that the drill is going to start. The welcome team members are going to help you get downstairs if you are ambulatory. The best way that you can go is down the east stair because you want to get downstairs to a low spot with as little contact with glass as possible. So if you can get down the east stair and go to the kitchen hallway, that is what we ultimately need you to do. If you're over on this side and there's a traffic jam, just get downstairs the best way possible. If you are not ambulatory, you will need to stay in your seat, and one of the welcome team members is going to get you to a safe place. So this is just practice. We don't have a tornado. Hopefully we'll never have a tornado here. But if you can stay today and help us out with this important drill, we'll really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephanie. We're going to be moving on to our second musical selection, so please welcome back King Q for their selection of Homecoming.
Yeah, that first one was a little hard to perform, considering the fact that, I mean, it's from an authentic place, you know, so excuse me if I was looking a little nervous, but this next one, very similar to, Dan, very similar to what he was talking about, and I call this piece Homecoming, so thank y'all again for letting me be here. They try to get the best of me. How much they expect from me, the pain I've been dealing with could put my life in jeopardy. Haters on the radar, I analyze them carefully because some of them are the people that I really thought were there for me. It's why I never question shit at all, but it's hard, man. It could be far-fetched. Gonna calculate the measurement. It's why I never question shit at all, man. But put him in deep waters, I'm really getting my element. My homie told me yesterday he hate who he become. Sick in the head because he never met his son. Wishing instead that it's all said and done. His homie now dead, but he wish he was the one. Hey, say now, wait, look at who just made it out. Food for thought, go ahead and bring your plate around. I've been climbing from the bottom, what you think about it? I've been climbing from the bottom, wait. Hold on, this is kind of painful one, my bad. The second I noticed that you were soft-spoken, I looked at you like, man, that was well done. So now I'm here looking at your grave site like, man, you could have been one. Whenever we look at people and we see evil in their eyes, think about who they really are. Think about who they could have been. Their demise happened before they were born. Some people don't understand what it is to really go through pain, because pain is not really something that is an experience. It's more something that you lose and you feel afraid to gain. My heart was kind of heavy when my brother died, I'm not gonna lie. And I tried my absolute best to stay sane. But there's one thing about this world. They don't teach you anything. So now I'm here to say, if you're grieving and you feel any type of way, I'm here. Let everybody know that it's only a river when you cry one tear. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that with us. Before our main address, we'd like to empty our minds, relax our bodies, and take some mindful, deep breaths. Please join me for 1 minute of mindful breathing. Thank you. Our speaker for today is our Interim Director, Amy Miller. Please welcome her to the stage.
I stopped putting a bio in because you all know at this point who I am and what I've been doing. My name is Amy Miller, if you do not know, and my pronouns are she or they. I'm recovering from COVID. I've tested negative, don't worry. I tested last weekend because I was coming here to be with all of you and discovered that, to my surprise, I was COVID positive. Had a pretty crappy couple days, but we're back. But I say that to excuse any coughing. I brought my emotional support water bottle. Also, just so you know, I cry all the time here, so that was like nothing new or surprising to anyone. In fact, today I might not cry. I don't think I put anything in here that's going to move me a lot, so we'll see. But normally I'm a crier. So why are we here? Personally, I'm here because I believe in the mission and the potential of the Ethical Society, and because I feel a deep desire to do good work in the world. I'm a social worker, after all. But also, it's literally my job to be here. But all of you are here of your own free will. So as we wrap up the programming year with one more platform before Members Speak Month begins, and then we have a new programming year, let's think together about it. What brings you each week? What brought you today if you're new here? At some point in your life, whether that was 40 years ago or this past Thursday, you thought about the Ethical Society of St. Louis and decided you would go check it out. What were you hoping to find here? Have you found it? I think a lot about this place. Like more than I should. My 7-year-old has told me she can't wait till I'm done with this job because I work too much. It's true though. I do work too much, but that is why I'm here. I'm here because I thought I could make a difference here, and I could positively change the culture and set the society up to be a place more people would want to be. I'm trying really hard. I've learned a lot about the history of the society over the last 18 months and the various needs it has fulfilled over the many years. Did you know that we're coming up on the 137th programming year? Over 137 years, the Society has served the community here in St. Louis largely by providing two main things: intellectual stimulation and a safe place to be a free thinker and a non-believer, providing a smart people church without churchiness. And now we're still one of the only secular options of its kind in this region, with the exception of Mid-Rivers, which some of you got to enjoy. You attended the Mixer on Thursday. I wasn't able to go. But aside from Mid-Rivers, there's not a lot of places atheists, agnostics, and those recovering from religion can gather together and feel safe. It shouldn't surprise me how many people don't feel safe being out in their families or social circles as non-believers, but especially in a time of rising Christian nationalism, I am grateful the Ethical Society exists. I'm sure you are too. So, of course, we need to have these safe places. But despite unprecedented numbers of people leaving religion and simultaneously needing community more than ever, there really aren't very many safe places. So in that case, why is this room not completely full? Why didn't more people wake up this morning and say, let's go to the Ethical Society today and be in community with other humanists there? There's a reason modern liberal megachurches like The Gathering are so successful. I don't know if you're familiar with The Gathering. They have multiple locations here. The staff and I were exploring their website last week for comparative research. They have multiple locations, a huge staff, tons of programming, and they do a great deal of advocacy. On their website, they affirm their commitment to LGBTQIA people and to working on dismantling white supremacy. The job posting I read bragged very competitive pay and full benefits. If not for the Jesus stuff, it might sound like a place I might want to go. Although their model is wildly successful, but I suspect a primary reason for that isn't Jesus, although one does suppose a belief in the core tenets of Christianity are useful for enjoyment. I think the most likely reason for their success, honestly, is that they are an organization built in 2006 for the needs of modern liberal Christians. The Ethical Society was founded in 1886. The needs of free thinkers in 1886 were very different than the needs of today. In 1915, there were 515 members. The needs of free thinkers, agnostics, and atheists in 1915 were very different than our needs today. In 1983, our membership was 450. I believe the needs in 1983 were also very different than the needs of today. Do you remember 1983? I was 4. The internet wasn't a thing. My family went to church every Sunday. We were a United Methodist, specifically to have community, even though it turns out neither of my parents' belief was very strong, and now no one in my family attends any churches. But they had no extended family in the area, so what better way to build connections for themselves and their 3 children? The desire to have ritual, a safe gathering place, and people around you who know you and know your children brought many people to church on Sundays as well as to the Ethical Society on Sundays in its heyday. Those desires remain strong in human beings, especially in trying times, and is likely why places like the Gathering continue to be well attended. They're responding to the needs of human beings in 2024. I'm not sure that is what we are doing as well. We currently have 307 members, and in various ways, all of us are worrying about the future of the organization if we do not continue to grow. Growth is change, however, and as we have discussed before, including this morning in forum, change is hard. And because we've always done it this way is frequently the only answer I can find to my endless, but why though, questions. Entrenched cultural norms in a place that's been around 137 years run deep and strong and tend to resist progress. Did I tell you guys that Trish, who was the board president last year, bought me a t-shirt that says, but why though? Like that's really like, if there's a thing I leave behind, it's like, as Amy would say, but why though? But to progress is also to change. Growth, progress, and change are the themes for the coming programming year as we take hard looks at what each of these mean and what they require for us as a community, as Americans, as good humans, as a species, and on this planet. I don't say any of this ever to diss the Ethical Society. I think we have endless potential and we have some amazing members. You know I love you guys, and everything that I offer is with love. I find it profoundly informative exercise to ask myself, what would the needs of a new humanist organization in 2024 be? And from there ask, how can we best meet those needs in our current circumstances? If we can answer those questions, I believe we can crack the code. We currently have 307 members. I'm starting with the question, why are you here? And then expanding to think about who isn't here and why that might be. I have a working theory about why the society isn't growing as one might expect. I think that in 1886, and in the many years following, it met a very specific desire people had to be in community where they were going to be served highly intelligent, thoughtful, critical, rational content. People came here to learn. It attracted erudite, scholarly, brilliant people, and it still does. And it was one of the only places people could come to absorb information in this very specific way, free of dogma and doctrine, where you could be free to think how you wanted to think, where you could entertain and even celebrate radical new ideas. And it was free of cost besides membership donations. And it also offered classical music. If the Ethical Society were on a dating app, it would be clear that you have a very specific type. But now, in 2024, you don't have to go to a special place to hear a presentation from a smart person. We have endless TED Talks, YouTube videos, podcasts. You can audit online classes at elite universities and learn from anyone, anywhere, anytime. We have the whole damn internet at our fingertips. People don't need to go somewhere on Sunday mornings to learn or to be exposed to new ideas. To really fill these seats, we have to fundamentally shift our thinking. We have to provide the thing people actually want and need in 2024, which is not a lecture. As much as we all enjoy the platform talk, that is not the thing that attracts and continues to attract new people to our space. Again, you can watch and listen to smart people talk about what they know in 1,000 ways. People are coming here because they need community, full stop. But simply being gathered in a space does not a community make. What people are deeply craving is actual, real, deep, meaningful friendship and the sense of belonging that that brings. I did a forum on the fly a couple weeks ago about relationships where we spent much of the hour discussing friendships. I asked, what makes a good friend? Is it easy for you to make friends? Have you ever been broken up with by a friend? What are tips you'd give to someone who struggles to make friends? And it yielded a robust conversation and a few follow-up emails from members with more thoughts about it. Thank you, Norm Eisenberg. He sent me some really thoughtful ideas. People have a lot of thoughts and feelings, as well as regrets and sadnesses about friendship. We also acknowledge how much more difficult it is as adults than when we were kids, when playing together on the playground for an afternoon could mean you were best friends forever. If you Google making friends as an adult, you'll quickly see it's a concern of many. Whether it's easy or hard for you to make friends, the fact of social connections and friendships being crucial to well-being has a great deal of empirical support, which I know you love. According to Lazzari and Rabatini in 2021, among older adults, chronic loneliness and social isolation can increase the risk of developing dementia by approximately 50%. Mann and others in 2022 found that adults who report feeling lonely often are more than twice as likely to develop depression as adults who report rarely or never feeling lonely. Brinkhughes and others in 2017 found that smaller social network size is associated with an increased risk of type 2 diabetes and other diabetic complications, including heart attacks and kidney disease. People with strong perceptions of community belongingness are 2.6 times more likely to report good or excellent health than people with a low sense of belongingness. From a study called Social Relationships and Physiological Determinants of Longevity Across the Human Lifespan, Yang and others wrote this: lack of social connections was associated with vastly elevated risk in specific life stages. For example, social isolation increased the risk of inflammation by the same magnitude as physical inactivity in adolescence. And the effect of social isolation on hypertension exceeded that of clinical risk factors such as diabetes in old age. Analyses of multiple dimensions of social relationships within multiple samples across the life course produce consistent and robust associations with health. In other words, having friends and feeling a sense of belonging across the lifespan are crucial to health and well-being of human beings. A 2022 study found that when people were asked how close they felt to others emotionally, only 39% of adults in the United States said that they felt very connected to others. And most notably, in 2024, the U.S. Surgeon General released a robust report called The Epidemic of Loneliness and Isolation. Have any of you read this report? I hadn't either. It is available on the internet. It's subtitled The U.S. Surgeon General's Advisory on the Healing Effects of Social Connection and Community. Based on the data, one could argue that we have an ethical obligation to provide opportunities for belonging and social support if we have the means to do so, as it will have demonstrably positive impact on other people's well-being. In other words, if we believe that part of living an ethical life is having a positive impact on those around us and being responsible for each other, then this is one way for us to collectively practice deed before creed. But this goes beyond having an open door policy where we claim all are welcome. So imagine a friend, and really do this, imagine a friend was inviting you to a party or event. Imagine your friend says, Blake, I'm having a party Saturday night. Other people you might like will be there, but you probably won't know anyone. You can come if you want to. How does it feel to be invited in this way? Do you feel special? Do you feel like your friend is delighted by you and desires your presence? Would you anticipate feeling supported and safe when you arrive? Will you go? I'm not going to go. I mean, I'm going to go regardless of how you invite me, but, I want to be invited. But now imagine your friend says instead, hey, Blake, I'm having a party Saturday night, and I would love to introduce you to some of my other friends. I'll make sure you feel comfortable, even though you may not know anyone. I think you'd be a great addition to the group, and I would really love it if you could be there. There's a profound emotional difference between you can come if you want, and I would love it if you would join me. I think historically, don't get mad at me for saying this, the society's given a lot of, you can come if you want, energy, despite our best intentions. I know you've tried to strategically plan your way into a more welcoming environment, and that's great. Sometimes when visitors pick up yellow mugs, they are approached by a warm and welcoming human, as was the plan, and it does create a sense of welcome and belonging. But as often as not, that doesn't happen. Sometimes a visitor comes and goes, and no one engages with them at all. And we may never know the missed opportunity that was. And there are many factors that influence this, some of which have nothing to do with the people, and instead are a result of the cold formality of many of the spaces in the building. I and the staff have generated a robust list of suggestions for ways we could shift the energy and create a more warmly welcoming place. One of the simplest ideas is about the space. One of the simplest ideas we have is to establish a living room style space in what is now the library with couches and comfortable lounging furniture. It feels different than like the church basement. We have many other ideas, which we will be sharing in the coming weeks and months, and I've been compiling my observations and recommendations from this interim period. And the thing that continues to stand out as the most important change we can make is to ensure growth is inclusivity. This has to be a place where even people who haven't already been here for years feel good, psychologically safe, and comfortable. I think the longer you've been part of something, the harder it becomes to see and evaluate it accurately. I've been asking people, what are they looking for when they enter a new space or are seeking community? And they all said they want to feel comfortable, safe, and welcome. They want to feel like people are genuinely happy to see them. Everyone remembers the Cheers theme song. Jake, you have the Cheers theme song ready for us? Sing it, if you want to. See? Right? And they're always glad. Thank you. Oh, yeah, we can stop there. We don't need. I listened to the whole song. First of all, side note, 80s sitcoms had the best theme songs, right? Like they were so long and robust and multi-verses. I was listening and I was like, I don't remember any of this, but I was also like a child and probably shouldn't have been watching Cheers. But my point is, and you feel this, right? Like those are the perfect lyrics to encapsulate what we want to feel like. You want to feel like everybody knows your name and they're so glad that you came, even if they actually don't know your name, but you have a name tag on. Whether you're on the welcome team or not, and whether it is in your official capacity that week or not, we can all be friendly and provide a sense of belonging for each other and for everyone that walks in our doors. That's not to say everyone's going to be best friends, but I think actively investing in becoming a place people would go to make friends is a great goal, because that is why people are here. That is what community is in 2024. It is the conscious and intentional alleviation of one another's loneliness and disconnection, which is about more than just being human together. It is about being seen, heard, supported, and loved for who you are. And that said, it turns out not everyone has an easy time making friends. Personally, I make friends, like lowercase f friends, everywhere I go, which is very annoying to Zoe. She's like, why do you and Daddy always have to talk to everybody? I'm like, because we're friendly. But I'd say I really only have about maybe 20 capital F friends, because capital F friendships take time and proximity and investment that gets harder and harder to find with aging, distance, parenting, career, etc. But many times over my years as a therapist and coach, I've talked with adults who are wondering how to make new friends. They ask, how do you do it? How I do it is primarily by being authentic. I am myself at all times. There are some spaces in which it feels safer or less safe to bring my whole self, but I'm always myself. And when people who know me on social media meet me in real life, they're sometimes surprised that I'm exactly the same. At my advanced age, I am who I am. I get Botox, I look good for my age. I do my best not to hide, chameleon, bullshit, or people please. I think people can generally tell when someone is being real, and they respond favorably to those who are. Not taking yourself too seriously is a good general rule in life. Others are being able to laugh at yourself, admit when you are wrong, find joy in other people's success, having a generally lighthearted attitude towards most things that aren't important. For as spicy as I can be, most of the time I find joy and pleasure in small things, and I don't tend to sweat the small stuff. Giving people grace and space to be their most authentic selves is key also, while always being mindful to set an example of providing safe spaces. Other tips I would offer adults who are interested in making new friends here and in the world at large include learning how to handle conflict with grace. Real life can get messy, and even the strongest friendships might go through disruptive periods of conflict. Learning to communicate your feelings and talk about things that bother you so that you can move through conflict well is a skill that I've dedicated my life to teaching people. You can learn to do this. This includes taking your time before popping off about something, whether online or in real life. If you do say something harmful or engage in a way that you're not proud of, take time to cool off and then repair when you cause harm. Friendships can withstand conflict, but they often cannot withstand unrepaired harm. Practice decoding social cues. Pay attention and be responsive to when someone isn't interested in talking anymore, or when you may have said or done something that makes them feel uncomfortable. Be mindful that you are but one person and you are no more or less important than anyone else. I remind myself regularly that I am only the star of my own show, and everyone else is the star of their own show. We can't all be the stars of our collective show. We have to remember that everyone else is having their own unique experiences that are often very different than ours. Being socially aware means holding others gently, with empathy and the awareness that we can never really know what's going on with someone. It would benefit me personally if everyone would remember that I'm at work on Sundays and there are a lot of you and only one of me. Social awareness in this context would include being mindful that we can't have an important conversation in the Becker room when I'm on my way to a meeting and I'm trying to greet 50 other people. Members have routinely taken it personally and thought I was being rude, rather than understand that I'm busy and have many other Sunday obligations. And that goes for other staff as well. The same is true of everyone. Everyone is but one person with many other things on their mind and heart at a given time. Assume best intentions in the absence of information. Most charitable interpretation can be a hard standard, but it is worth the aspiration. And keep your word. If you say you're going to do something, do it. Be someone your friends can trust. Keep others' confidence. Don't talk about them behind their back. Sometimes if we haven't done the work to get good at conflict, we can avoid it and accidentally be passive-aggressive by having conversations with people other than the ones we should be talking to. Friendships can withstand hard conversations and often emerge stronger on the other side of misunderstandings. But the breaking of trust is a hard thing to come back from. Be yourself and make space for others to be themselves too. Honestly, I think generally this is something this society excels at. This is generally a safe place for experimentation and quirkiness to be accepted. There's a high threshold here for being different. This is a strength. This can be a place where anyone and everyone feels accepted and warmly welcomed if we could invest a little more in that latter part. Maintain balance. The best friendships rely on mutual degree of give and take. Be a good listener, but also share of yourself. Have healthy boundaries. Make it clear what you're available for and what you're not. Spend time together while making space for yourselves as individuals. And reach out when you're thinking about your friend. Even if you don't have time or desire to get together right now. I think sometimes we worry that if I reach out, that you'll assume that that means that I'm free for breakfast tomorrow, which I might not be. But I want you to know that I'm thinking of you. And I think that people generally appreciate just the thought that someone else has thought of them. But giving people space, especially in the early stages of friendship, too many texts or calls at once can be suffocating and intimidating. In general, I think allow your friend to reach back out to you after you make contact. But share experiences too. You and your friends likely have common interests. Find events you can attend based on these shared interests. Get together to do things and have adventures. Proximity is a key ingredient to growing relationships. Just being together builds connection, including working toward a common goal in a volunteer situation, or pursuing a shared interest such as writing or music, which you have many opportunities for here at the Ethical Society. There are many opportunities to build friendship through proximity here. Solid friendships do require investing, but there are low-stress ways to do that, especially if you're someone who doesn't make friends super easily. But having meaningful relationships and friendships and places of true belonging are among the most powerful protective factors against all manner of negative health and mental health outcomes. The world is an ever scarier place, especially for those of us with marginalized identities or diverse families. There are 8 billion people in the world. There are close to 3 million people in the greater St. Louis area. The number of nones and dones is growing rapidly, so we could extrapolate that some many thousands of them are potential ethical society members. And some of those are people you yourself might want to be real, personal, meaningful friends with. But even so, we can all, at the very least, be lowercase f friends. We can establish fondness and respond warmly to each other. We can use each other's names and express that we are glad to see each other. We can say, "Good morning, how are you?" and hug those who like to be hugged and fist bump those who don't. When we see someone we don't know in our space crossing our path in the hallway, we can just say, "Hi," and smile. If we see someone looking lost, alone, or confused about where to go, we can say, "Can I help you find something?" Or, "Have you been here before?" Even if it's a little awkward, even if you don't excel at small talk, which I don't, like I've got 2 speeds. Complete silence, tell me everything. So we're best friends. If we're talking over here, we walk over here, we're best friends by the time we get here. I know all about your stuff. I've recommended a therapist for you. But even if it's a little awkward though, just those few seconds of human connection and acknowledgement of being seen can go a long way to making someone feel like coming back. Here's a little reminder that I would love to see any and all visitors let me start over. Here's a little reminder that I would love to see any and all visitors today after platform in the smaller room downstairs. I would love to give you all donuts and coffee and get to know you better. I want everyone here to feel welcome, seen, and safe. So, why are we here? We are here with endless optimism that this can be a place for all of us if we are willing to get creative, to step out of our comfort zones and embrace growth, progress, and change, to meet the needs for community building in 2024. We are all here at the Ethical Society of St. Louis seeking connection of some kind. May we all find what we need here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Amy. The Welcome Team will now take up a collection to support the Society. We rely on the generosity of our members and friends, so please consider donating. If you don't have cash with you today, you can donate at ethicalstl.org/donate or use the QR code on the screen. We appreciate anything you may be able to offer. If you're interested in joining the Ethical Society or you're a visitor, as Amy said earlier, and would like to know more about the Society, there's going to be Donuts with the Director meeting downstairs after the tornado drill. Any and all visitors are welcome to attend. This is normally held every second Sunday, but we will be taking the month of August off, so I hope all visitors will consider attending. It is a great opportunity to ask any questions about the Society you may have. We would like to keep you informed about future events at the Ethical Society of St. Louis. You may use the QR code to sign up for the weekly newsletter, check the Friends of the Ethical Society Facebook group, or email the relevant staff person or member. This is a busy and vibrant place that relies on volunteers and friends. And I hope you get involved and connected into the community in ways that feel meaningful for you. Just gonna wait a moment for them to finish. As we finish up our donations, we're going to welcome back King Q to the stage for their final selection, Here Lies Everything.
All right, y'all. I promise y'all no tears this time, all right? Yeah, yeah. No press and rewind. Way bridges burned and light the fire. Hey, let it shine brighter, brighter, brighter. We let it shine brighter, brighter, brighter. This is my time. No pressure, rewind. Way bridges burned and light the fire. But let it shine brighter, brighter, brighter. Oh, let it shine brighter, brighter, brighter. Yeah. Look. First things first, let me start off with the basics. A lot of us can make it, but can't balance it with greatness. Born after the distribution of Apple computers, and right on my mama's table was a 97-pager. Lived my whole life stuck in 2 generations. It's crazy and hard to find people you relate with. Cost to be the boss, start depositing my paycheck. If the money talk, let me spark the conversation. Consider that the language, but the motivation is speak the truth, even if you risk a reputation. Better bend the rules like your measurements are flexible, and fix the fucking game like you playing for the Patriots. Giving y'all my all like my life depended on it. Around sundown is when a nigga really morning. Chip off the block, man, I keep it on my shoulder. Keep this shit on lock, it's the key to moving forward. Hoping for a breakthrough, nobody can save you. Stay the same for others, man, that type of shit'll change you. Guess it's fuck the world, let me slide to second base. By the time this track is done, you'll label me as Babe Ruth. Do it for your day ones, now we on the day 2. By day 3, them niggas gon' start to hate you. It really be the ones you been rocking with since grade school. Really be the ones that be telling you to stay true. No pressure, rewind. Way bridges burned and light the fire. Hey, let it shine brighter, brighter, brighter. Yeah. Hey, let it shine brighter, brighter, brighter. Yeah. Wait, this is my time. No pressure, rewind. Hey, bridges burning like the fire. Yeah. Hey, let it shine brighter, brighter, brighter. Yeah, hey, let it shine, hey, let it shine. Look, yeah, you snakes have never crossed me like a hospital logo. Silver with the grenadine to make it move in slow-mo. Look right through my lens, you can see the bigger picture. Get the image on the spot like a Polaroid photo. It really ain't rap, it's really an act. They're piggybacking off of your name and they pity that fact. Forgot who really running this game. Clearing your mind, get your fucking memory back. We been in our bag on G.O.D. Old folks slowly turn enemies. Get the dirt off my name when you mention me. Squares in my circle, let me check the proximity. Squares in my circle, let me check the proximity. It's killing me. I remember thinking back on how to make this happen just to show the world your value ain't dependent on your status. I remember thinking back on how to make it happen, but the money and the fame will never bring me satisfaction. No pressure, rewind. Way bridges burned and light the fire. Oh yeah. Hey, let it shine brighter, brighter, brighter. Yeah. Hey, let it shine brighter, brighter, brighter. Ladies and gentlemen, look. I said this is my time. No pressure, rewind. These bridges burn, so light the fire. But let it shine brighter, brighter, brighter. Yeah. Hey, let it shine brighter, brighter, brighter. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this is my time. Thank y'all so much. I appreciate everybody here.
Thank you, King Q, for sharing those wonderful performances with us. And thank you all for being here today, for each other and for yourselves. I hope today's platform helped you feel more connected with one another and motivated you to implement the core values more in your day-to-day life. I invite you to spend more time in community today, however, that will be after the tornado drill. So please listen for Stephanie's instructions as she comes back up here, and I hope you'll stick around for coffee afterwards in the Becker room downstairs.
All right, in just a moment, the drill will start, but I want to just reiterate that we need you to be downstairs near the kitchen in the hallway. Do not take the elevator, and if possible, try and stay away from glass. We're going to be checking the upstairs to make sure that we've gotten everybody, so please wait downstairs until we get the all clear. So the drill starts now.